Hello everyone, once again I'm TheFish and I'm here to bring you guys another awesome StarCraft 2 cast. So I've been searching through all the replays that have been floating around online and I found a couple that looked really interesting, and I had to pick this one for a few reasons. The first reason of course is the players. You always want to see some of your favorite players, and in this game we're going to have some of my favorite players from the EU. We're going to have spawning in the bottom left corner. It's going to be WhiteRa as the red Protoss. And spawning in the bottom right corner, Game of Drones, unless I'm mistaken, is Liqui TLO. And TLO is a Zerg player, plays for Team Liquid. And he's really awesome. I have some other videos of him up on my channel. You can check those out. And I picked this this map, or this replay, because of the map. It's Tal'Darim Altar. You don't see it too often. It's interesting in Zerg versus Protoss, and the reason I say it's interesting is that these rocks, essentially, is what makes it interesting in this matchup, particularly. No, I mean, the normal metagame for Zerg versus Protoss is for the Zerg to get a quick third base, and then just, you know, basically go macro out as fast as they can, balls to the wall, macro. Any of you guys who have played as or against a Zerg player recently knows this in this matchup. Oh, what a nice waterfall. You know that in this matchup they want to take 3 bases, and you know, a lot of times it's basically just the Stefano style, you know, roach rush, 3-base roach rush. But anyway, I want to see how WhiteRa is going to handle this. He should have a decent advantage. What the effect of these rocks is that you can't take a quick third in this matchup. So you need to either get out some units off of 2 bases, or you need to delay that third. So you can't do the kind of optimal builds that you would normally like to build on this match. In these spawns, however, one thing that TLO could do is take this base where he has his Overlord now as his third, try and sort of hide it. The disadvantage is that it's vulnerable, but the advantage is that he can kind of play it normally, and he can just kind of cut it off by splitting the map down in two. So WhiteRa is going to go for a Forge Fast expand. He's going to following it up with a quick gateway. Gateway before cannon. There's a lot of little nuances to doing the Forge Fast expands. This is what's good about getting the gateway out quick, is your tech is dependent on it. So you know you need to get the gateway to get a Cybernetics core, and the Cybernetics core is what unlocks all of your fun stuff, kind of in the same way that layer tech unlocks all of the Zerg's fun stuff. So WhiteRa is going to be scouting this out, but it looks like TLO is going to get that first initial scouting probe. So TLO now taking his natural. At a somewhat, you know, late time, he wanted to get that spawning pool out first, and he immediately starts to go to work on these rocks, so that's kind of cool. So it looks like you might actually want to go for the quick third by getting out these early Zerglings, and they're actually doing decent damage to it, but these won't be down as quickly as you would like. So I was going to have to see what WhiteRa wants to do in these locations. I know that a lot of Zergs like to go for Mutalisks on this map. It's not bad. I know that you can do, there's a very strong two-base Blink Stalker timing attack, and a lot of Protoss like to do, you know, what's it called? Stargate. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's called Stargate. That's what they like to do on this map. So we'll have to see what WhiteRa is going to do, and we're almost at that magic time when they start to do that. But until then, let's check out what's going on here. So Warp Gate coming down now for WhiteRa. He's continuing to Chrono Boost probes, and this is what you want to do if you're a Protoss. You want to basically secure this section, make sure you get a nice tight wall, get that initial Zealot out, and he's actually going to be just running out with this first Zealot. He's probably going to be aware that there's no additional Zerglings coming out. Wants to see. He's also going to be planting down a pylon over here, so that's interesting. We'll have to see if that comes into play later. But at this point in the game, you want to just pump out as many probes as you possibly can. So we'll have to see. WhiteRa is now going to scout that this is going down, so he'll know that TLO wants to take a third base. So that'll kind of open up WhiteRa's options. He can either go off of 2 bases and try to do something. He can either try and go for a Robo-Bay, get some sentries out, and try and secure his own third. He can do some kind of an all-in. We'll have to see what he wants to do. And WhiteRa is usually the kind of guy who likes to get ahead little bit by little bit. You know, that's what we're talking about when we say special tactics. He'll just do a few things to try and get an advantage, and he's famous for using that Warp Prism. Warp Prism is pretty good on this map because you have a long distance between your main base and your third base, so your units have to travel very far if you want to intercept any Warp Prisms. Whoa! Sentry's doing a little dance. Warp Gate Research coming down, and WhiteRa's kind of late with these gateways. What's he gonna do here? He's got a Robo Bay. He'll probably go up to 4 gateways and try to take a third, or he can just keep adding on gateways. Although, if he wanted to do that, the time has already kind of passed. So he's gonna take a second gas. He's got a Robo Bay coming down. He'll probably just go for Colossi. So yeah, a 4th gateway, and let's see if he throws down the robotic support bay. Robotic support bay. He's got +1 coming out. He's got an Immortal coming out. And well, TLO definitely looking like he's poised to go for a Roach Rush. He's got 3rd base. Where's that? Roach Horn's here. He's even got a Spore Crawler out just in case something like Dark Templar or Void Razor were to show up. A couple of Spine Crawlers as well. Now WhiteRa's going to be coming in here with this Zealot. He's going to see that there are Spine Crawlers going down. He's going to try and get this Queen, but TLO should be able to take this guy out without much trouble. WhiteRa's coming out here, and it looks like he does want to take his own 3rd base. He's going to try and take out these rocks, and there's the Robo Bay. He is going to be going for Colossi as well. So +1 armor is going to be coming out for WhiteRa. It's going to be just continuously upgrading. And what's good about what WhiteRa is doing is it's WhiteRa. What WhiteRa is doing is that it's kind of safe. You can get that Robo. The Robo is what really makes it so safe. You get the Immortals out, you get some Sentries, and you can hold off Roach Rushes, Roach attacks, which is what's coming his way. A bunch of Roaches right now. And the Stalkers are going to have to back up here. He's going to get a good force field, so he's going to catch 3 Roaches. And their brethren are going to have to fall back a little bit, but they did trade a Stalker for that. And now it looks like a Zealot as well. So WhiteRa looks like he wants to clear off some of that creep, and he's actually just going to go right back home to his 3rd base. So he's got his first Colossi coming out. He's got some upgrades as well, and TLO in the meantime, he's got a Spire coming out. And WhiteRa is doing some of his harassment. He's got a Warp Prism right in the main base, and he's actually trying to focus down the Spire. Is he going to be able to get it? Barely doesn't get it. 60 hit points left. And he's going to have to go home with this Warp Prism. So, wow. A quick reaction by TLO is going to save his Spire. He's got his 4th base coming down as well. So, pretty good game so far. Neither player willing to admit to any kind of an all-in attack or even a very aggressive move yet. But some nice little bit of harassment by WhiteRa. Just doesn't quite get the Spire, so it's gonna kind of hurt. He's gonna need to get Blink out, and he's actually gonna need to get, most likely gonna need to get Templar as well. So 5 gateways coming down to block this off completely. And it's worth noting that WhiteRa does kind of have the spawn location advantage. So he's able to kind of attack into his opponent's natural a bit easier. So I'm a bit of an amateur map maker. I've been posting maps on Team Liquid, following along with what's been going on, and it makes you more aware of certain features when you start to worry about map making. It's kind of interesting. So if WhiteRa's been using that Observer, he'll know about these Mutalisks coming out now. But it looks like, well, there's a bunch of Mutalisks sitting at home as well for TLO. He might go for some sort of a flank move or try and hit 2 mineral lines at once, something like that. It's something that you don't really see Zergs do very much, but it's very effective. You can actually just get maybe 7 or 8 mutas or 10 mutas, and then just stop making mutas and switch into something else, but use them just for harassment, and can be a good tool to use. TLO not going to be really able to do much of anything here, it looks like. Pumping up his mutas. He might be able to pick off a sentry. He's actually just going to fly right by into the main base. But already WhiteRa has a bunch of stalkers. Blink just finishing, as well as +1 shields. Interesting choice there. I like it though in PvZ. Protoss tend to never get shield upgrades, and it's actually decent against Zerg because it makes your buildings beefier. Yeah, see, 1 armor buildings, not bad, right? And it's extra effective on Immortals because you can make the hardened shield effective, more effective. It has synergies. So TLO continuing to really macro up. He's hiding a base over here now, so he's on 4 bases. And WhiteRa just kind of looks like he wants to go for the death ball, but he's not been able to macro it quite as quickly. We're already at the 15-minute mark. But TLO also not quite maxed out yet. He didn't just go for a roach attack. He started roaches and then used that to sort of switch into something else. And TLO just creeping up the whole map here. He's got the Spinecrawler wall now coming down, so that'll make it a little more tough for WhiteRa, and he's going to probably just be going for Broodlords in a second. He doesn't have... There's a few Corruptors out. They will soon become Broodlords. And WhiteRa's going to have a tough time. I don't know how he's going to really deal with this once Broodlords start coming out. Right now, he's going to need a lot more Blink Stalkers, I can tell you that. And he might even want to start throwing down that Stargate to try and get the Fleet Beacon and the Mothership eventually. I mean, actually, that's got to happen pretty soon. So Zerg able to kind of rapidly tech switch, whereas Protoss can't do it so quickly. So Protoss needs to put some pressure on. Okay, so WhiteRa wants to move out right now. And it's a pretty decent time, but I think it's just a second too late. He's going to run himself into some Spinecrawlers and Broodlords. And WhiteRa is really cutting it close here. I don't know if he's really going to be able to do much. TLO, though, only with a bunch of units. He's waiting on these Broodlords to morph in, and WhiteRa really could just steamroll him right now if he's not careful. So TLO grouping up, and now he wants to move in with the Zerglings. Fungals going down on the Stalkers, and really good Fungals actually going down. An aggressive blink forward by WhiteRa, and it looks like he's actually going to kill off a lot of these units. WhiteRa continuing to move forward now. The Broodlords have been taken out. Beach balls coming down from the infestors, and Beam of Drones, he's going to have to muster up an army together really quick because WhiteRa, he's breathing down your neck. WhiteRa without a forward pylon though, and without that Warp Prism, he's going to have to walk his reinforcements here, and that might be a difficult thing to get by. 3 Colossi though, pretty scary. Still got a bunch of sentries too, and the Greater Spire is getting target fired now. Looks like the Greater Spire is going to go down. Now TLO wants to come in, and he's coming in with the Corruptors to try and snipe off these Colossi. And GG. TLO realizing that it's not going to quite be enough. And GG's out. Wow, what a great game. I think that WhiteRa just, if he were to attack maybe 10 seconds later, probably he would have lost that game. But he just hit that perfect timing, right where the Broodlords are starting to pop out, right before TLO was able to get that death ball with the infestors. And just really take it to him. And I mean, I wanted to say that kind of the turning point was these Mutalisks, because when you invest about 1,200 gas at the Mutalisks, and then that delays your hive tech coming down, that delays your Broodlords coming out. Although 18-minute Broodlords aren't, or 17-minute Broodlords aren't slow by any means. So wow, good game, really good game. And WhiteRa just able to use his overwhelming force at that moment in the game to take it. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this cast, and I'll try to get some more to you really shortly. Thanks for watching.